So one of the core concepts we're trying to get across in the Madison Collaborative is ways of ethical reasoning and different approaches and lenses that you would take to ethical reasoning. The great thing about the 8 key questions that we're about to see and hear about is that they reflect thousands of years of philosophical development from a variety of different perspectives, different types of disciplines throughout human history. All of them together create a rich tapestry of how to think about ethics, and when you're thinking about a community or a society from different angles. So we're very excited that our faculty will be helping students to look at ethics from a variety of perspectives in this way.
We can't imagine that these 8 key questions and the method that we're developing is going to produce a right answer for anybody. It's not about that. The intention is rather to have people step back and consider situations where, again, we might be acting too quickly or acting in haste or acting in ways that reflect an implicit bias or a blind spot.
We have developed a set, and with the help of some ethics philosophers and other content experts who teach ethics at JMU, and over the course of several years, we've developed 8 key issues and questions, which I like to call 8 ethical lenses, through which ethical dilemmas, ethical situations can be viewed or should be viewed. In any given situation, multiple lenses should be used, in my view, this is a normative statement, should be used in order to best triangulate using 3 or more of the lenses to make a considered, sensitive decision. Some of the lenses are outcomes-based, some are more deontological, which means duties-based, and some are more virtues-based, such as that developed early by Aristotle, Plato, and Socrates.
The metaphor of referring to these as the lenses is that, each lens brings out something different that we might not have noticed before. And so the reason for that metaphor is to kind of explain why we need 8. Because I think too often people might think, why don't we just use one? Why do we need 8 of these things? And I think the reason is because each one helps us to focus in on something a little bit different. And so the additive properties of using all 8 to examine the same ethical issue often brings to bear new insights that we wouldn't have noticed before.
I think it's important that to understand that this decision model is not there to come up with the right decision, because there are multiple right decisions. But I think that looking at a dilemma from a number of different lenses helps us understand other people's decisions. We don't have to agree with the decision, we don't have to condone the decision, but I think it's important that we try to understand where other people are coming from.
I think from my job working in judicial affairs, and I see a lot of difficult choices that students are faced with, I think the 8 questions can address the minor everyday choices and the major big life-changing choices. They're very comprehensive. They can, from the smaller responsibility authority ones when they're just faced with a simple rules type question, to one where there's something, a policy or procedure that in the future they may be involved creating. They can use all 8 of them to decide what's the most appropriate course of action.
You can't arbitrarily pick your favorite question here. There needs to be some evaluation of which questions take precedence over others. I could see the 8 questions falling in 2 broad categories. They deal with avoiding harm, or they deal with seeking good. This principle, seek good, do good, and avoid evil, is held to be the basic, most abstract principle of natural law ethics, coming out of Plato, Aristotle, and the Stoic philosophers, and then coming through the medieval philosophers and through John Locke into the Declaration of Independence.